Good morning. How are we? Don't don't mind these 1977 flyaway things. I'm letting the hair grow out. Superficial stuff. I know you don't want to hear that. I'd like to really talk some serious stuff with you. Kind of get back to what I do within my business. And the last couple days, I've done nothing but really just have some yapping content. I'm gonna try to leave my hands out of my hair. It's getting long though, look. It's getting long again, finally. How are you this morning? What's the weather doing? Comments are turned off. I promise I'll turn them back on at some point in time. I'm trying to get out of a glare. It is what it is. Maybe I'll just sit back a little bit. Again, it's hot. It's 1,048 degrees here in St. Louis, Missouri. The humidity must be, 7,092%. It rained and rained, and I sat here at my desk at my computer this morning like an old person, watching the weather going, ooh, we needed this. My poor plants. I was in the garden pulling out 2 more eggplants this morning. Accidentally broke part of the plant, so I have it rooting in water to see if it's going to sprout. That's like my pastime. It's humid. It's going to be hot for a while yet. But how are you? Up to 209 subscribes. Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. I'm going to try to talk some little bit of serious stuff, some life coaching stuff. I have all this time on my hands and all these thoughts in my head. That's what I was getting to. Still trying to watch a little bit or hear a little bit on that. Is it Lindsay Clancy? The girl that's being accused of things that we all know her husband did it. We all know he did it. She was driven crazy, was over-medicated, suffering from postpartum and narcissistic abuse. Her husband did it. And pretty much I think every woman who has been following and watching, the husband did it. Can't convince me of anything different. Nobody who loses his whole family already has somebody lined up to discard and then start a whole new family with no remorse, no sadness. And then he took her on some big vacation, and then they both posted about it. So, just my personal thought. He did it. She didn't do it. Do I believe she probably will be traumatized and scarred for the rest of her life and probably needs to be in some treatment center for the rest of her life? Probably. The attorney who's representing her, kudos to him. Finally, narcissistic abuse will be put on the register, just like if you are a predator among young ones. But anyway, I just had to throw that out there because it's been very disheartening, and it just makes me think of all the things that I endured over an 8-year period. It's why I studied life coaching. I'm reasonably intelligent, and again, once you're out of a situation and you can look back and you try to justify and reason within your own thoughts, and then you're telling somebody what you went through. Yeah, the husband did it. Anyway, back to the weather. It's supposed to be hot for a while yet. I don't think we are going to see any cooler temps probably till about October. according to the Farmer's Almanac. If you can find a book, let me know. Because they're fun little reads. Fun little reads. Tells you the moon cycles, tells you when to plant, when to harvest, when to bring up your crops. My sweet potatoes are up this much. They've now trellised on that new wrought iron fencing I have around the garden. Another watermelon. The cantaloupes have taken over. It's just too hot. I can't even go outside to even like play in the garden as much as I want to. I need to weed some stuff, especially since it rained. The ground is all soft. Can't do it though. Tomatoes are still green. Now there's probably about 50 of them out there. Like all at one time, I'm going to have this huge harvest of tomatoes, and I'm not going to know what to do with it. Maybe I can set them up in a little basket on the table and sell them to the neighborhood. I don't know. But this morning, as I'm sitting here, I have updated every website known to man. Are you familiar with Sherpa? Sherpa.com. It's a photography site. When my person and I were traveling, I took a bunch of photos from all of these exciting places that him and I ventured to. Sherpa is a destination website if you're a photographer, content creator, or writer, and hotels and events, like I'll just say like Disney World, Grand Basin Hotel in Arkansas, Eureka Springs. If you haven't been, you need to go. Put that on your radar. You need to go. But anyway, what they do is they go onto the site, and then they put up how much they're paying, how many photos they need, and what the specs are. And then you just apply to see if you're accepted. And then usually you get a discount on your hotel. And there's a duration of how long you need to stay and how many photos you need to take and the different, what I'll say, angles that you need to. So I updated that site this morning, Sherpa. You spell that SHRPA.com. Just Google Kitryn Marie. If you go over to my Facebook business page, KM Designs A Writer's Mind, the link is on there. I'm also open for some small photography sessions right now. I've got some time on my hand. Still haven't heard about a schedule or anything for the interview meeting that I had yesterday. It only happened yesterday. I have to tell myself to be patient, and I have no patience. None. I'm out of patience. You know who I am. Do I have to really tell you who I am? You know who I am. You know what I do. You've been following me a while, or you're stalking me. So I'm sitting here. I've updated websites. Printify still can't figure out what's going on and why I cannot move my products around to get them in the correct order in order to purchase them. Kitryn-Marie.printify.me. I need to add some more of my photography and canvases. I need to do that. I don't want to add any more clothing to it. You know, yesterday I talked about, I was like all over the board yesterday coming down off of that meeting I had because I was really excited. It was fun to kind of dress up and throw myself together like a normal human. Today I've just got shorts and a shirt on. I was actually contemplating painting my dressers today. Do you know how long I've been talking about wanting to do that? Anyway, was very excited about that meeting yesterday and coming down off of a high, knowing somebody wants my skill. But I was talking about the list. The list. What's on the list? What do you want to buy? What's on that list? You see it and you go, oh my God, I want that. Well, to add to that list, I need a label machine. I don't know why I think I need it, but I need a label machine. Something I can design, little graphics on a label and print it out to put on merchandise that if I sell. I need that. A sticker machine. I need that. I can take those same designs that I have in my print-to-buy shop and I can put them on stickers and I can sell stickers. I'm giving you ideas. Anybody who's out there that you're just trying to make a couple extra bucks and you don't know how to do it. What was the other one? The button machine. Like, pull this off my cabinet. It's an apparatus where you take your, I love that word apparatus. I come up with all kinds of little words like that. But you take your print in a metal frame and you take this hand, arm, lever, and it comes down and it presses it together, and then you add a magnet to the back of it. Button maker, magnet maker. I need one of those. Like I said, I have all kinds of time on my hands right now, so I'm thinking of all these other little business things. Farmers markets are just exploding here in St. Louis, Missouri, and I feel like I need to be a part of most of them. You know, that rule of thumb. Whatever you pay for your booth, your space, you're supposed to be making 10 times. I'm real curious, the way that the economy is, however the market is in your area, what are people really buying? What are people buying? If regular retail sales are down, how is the creators market doing? Everybody on TikTok is moaning and groaning how they are losing money on TikTok shop. Excuse me. When it's 7,000, degrees outside with 442% in humidity, it kind of, gets you right here. And I don't want to take any more allergy medicine, at least not for a couple days, because man, that's too easy to do when you can't breathe. You grab something over the counter. But the creators market, if retail sales are down, TikTok sales are down, all the affiliate marketers are down. I even had on my Pinterest, which is just Kitryn Marie on my Pinterest, because every once in a while I'll go put a board, add a new post, share a video, and I think I'm still at about 3,000 views a month over there. My Pinterest has really dropped off since I'm not really creating anything. But Amazon must be hurting because there was a pop-up screen when I came on that said to sign up for their influencer program. I went down that road. There's a gimmick to it, and they don't tell you about the gimmick. So, and really, if you have something you want to sell, the best way to do it is just do your own video. You don't need to go through third-party marketing. If somebody needs what you have, they will inquire about it. If you're teaching something, somebody will want to take the class. If you're doing photography, although photography is a specialty thing, it really is. And I often thought about putting a coffee table book together with all of my photography, since I already know how to put a book together. You just change the specs and the size and the color bleeds and all those things with it. Because I'm really proud of my photography. The girl that was just trying to do something different with her life, I made a very decent income on and off with it. My packages start out at $375. You can do a mini session for $175. Just pay through my Cash App. I used to be able to do everything through PayPal. I don't do anything through PayPal. Everything's through Cash App now. What did I see in the taxes are changing for 1099s. If you're a 1099 person, it used to be if you made $600, you had to claim that $600. Well, they upped it finally since 1958 to $3,000. You can make up to $3,000 and you don't have to claim any of it. So, talk with your local tax person. My friend does my taxes. Depending on the route in which I'm going with these liquor demos, because those are 1099s, I might actually have to sit down with an actual, I mean, she is a tax person, but she's retiring. Somebody more in my area that I can sit down and figure out the benefits of being a 1099, all the things that you write off. I even think possibly with one of the positions in this new role, this new company, it might be a 1099. And I think, what did I read? Because I always like to be educated when I'm talking about money. If you put aside 18 to 25% out of your check for your 1099, by the time taxes comes along, you should be good. You should be good. That is the operative of you should be good. And then $3,000 though, that's just some extra cash. Extra cash. Put in all my schedules for where I'm going to be working come September. Still waiting again for the website to come up and available to see where they are putting me, because I believe everything is done through an app. What a crazy world. What a crazy world. Nobody does anything on like paper anymore. I'm one of those, I want it in my hand. I want to be able to read it. I live by a regular kind of calendar. I'm like, what is happening? Can't I just write it down? It's almost like they have those, and I don't need one more contraption, but they have those boards, electronic boards, that meshes with your phone, syncs with your phone and your calendar, and it shows up and you hang it on a wall. I don't need that. I don't need that at all. But they have it. What do you do? How do you keep all your scheduling? Or do you only just do one or two things on the same two streets, with the same 10 people that you come in contact with? I'm all over the board. Waiting for the kid to come home. He's out painting, doing a painting job today. I told him, I said, we got to flip the mattress between my back and my neck, and I don't want to moan and groan like an old person, but the mattress needs to be flipped, and we have got to reset. I was doing some research. Try to reset the Bluetooth in the vehicle. It's either a fuse 17 or 19. Wait, I have it pulled up, I'll tell you. Because I was told, do not go buy new speakers until you figure out if the fuses have been blown. And I think AutoZone can check it, or at least show me where the fuses are, because it's not under the dash, it's under the hood. Why have I never dated a car person? Why? Car mechanic. But then again, they say whatever you do for a living, you certainly don't want to do it for fun. Hence, all these years I've worked in food and beverage, and I don't find it fun or entertaining to go sit at any bar and have a cocktail or any patio. Okay, where's it at in here? Fuse 19 to 20A, which is the radio amplifiers, and fuse 20, 15A, which would be the radio. And the radio completely is out. And the CarPlay, when I hook it to my phone or try to do a CD, because I still have a CD player in it, it cuts out. And because I'm like driving all over, trying to manage life right now, I need my GPS to talk to me. You got your screen. It's about a 5.7 screen. Well, I can't be watching that and driving on the road. So I need sound. I need sound. Not only that, but the Bluetooth, when it actually works, the sound is so clear and so solid. And when I just now listen to my phone for anything, it's tinny. You get spoiled with all of these things. Hold on, I'm gonna switch gears. Anyway, so I've updated every website, trying to do deep dives on things I can get fixed. Need to rotate the tires on the car. That's a big one. Next week, I'm waiting on 2 small checks. It's 2 small checks from the outside gigs, and then I'll go get tires rotated. What else? I don't know. Let's do some life coaching kind of stuff, because I lay in bed at night and I think of all these things. And because that Lindsay Clancy case is all over the internet and all over the news and whatever else, it makes me stop and think. And if this brings a tear to your eye, or if it makes you like all of a sudden get this heart kind of thing, before you react and before you get triggered, because I would say I'm not a doctor, not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, don't play one on TV, no big degrees. Just studied a whole bunch of stuff to help with teaching an art class, a art therapy kind of cut and paste kind of thing to make you think, make you understand how you're a product of environment, or your situation is because of a circumstance that you got yourself into. But my mom died. I'll start here and then I'll lead into you. My mom died when I was 6 years old. She was 31 years old. My sister was 3. My grandma and grandpa raised us. There's a lot of those childhood memories I just don't remember. Trauma, drama, things stored in the hippocampus that every great once in a while will come out. And I will relive it, and then I will rehash it in my brain, not relive it. And I will wonder why I have no emotion attached to it. Like, what is it when you are a child and something that affects your whole life uproots your whole existence and you have no emotion attached to it? No, I don't know your life. I don't know how you were raised. I don't know who is the catalyst in your family, the caregiver. But now that you're an adult, whatever stage in life that you are, whatever stage you are, however old you are, if you were just meandering through your day in a quiet type environment, and somebody came walking past you and had a baby, had a toddler, and whoever that person was that was walking by you, and they just handed you that baby. First of all, what's your reaction? What's your thought? And that person just kind of wanders off. And you're holding this baby, you're holding this toddler. And in your mind, you're like, what the hell just happened? What is this? Who is this? Who is that person? And you happen to look down at this baby. You happen to look down at this toddler. And you're looking at this face. And you're like, wow, that face is familiar. And you look again. And you realize the baby toddler that somebody handed you is you. You've been handed yourself as a baby, as a toddler. What is your first reaction? Do you want to protect that child? Do you want to just hug that child? Do you want to be able to create a different environment for that child? And does it make you have a sense of sadness because you as an adult know what you have gone through, and now you're looking at a baby in the form of you, knowing that this child is going to have to go through all of these things that you've experienced in your life? Do you get angry? Do you get sad? I laid in bed last night and thought about this. I'm a little speechless here at the moment. I think when my grandparents lost my mom, it was so traumatic in the amount of grief that they must have experienced in order to protect me or my sister. It was minimized not to bring a sign of any type of emotion to us. Just life was going to go on. Whatever went behind closed doors with their emotions, we never saw it. I saw my grandpa break down really, really bad one time, right after my mom had died. I mean, he broke down. I saw my grandma weeping occasionally through life. And I'd always say, what's wrong, Gram? What's the matter? And she'd say, oh, nothing. I got something in my eye. You'd have to know my Gram. My Gram was a trip. But I often think about if somebody would hand me a version of myself as a child. Hence, when I had my babies meant everything to me. Everything. They were my world, my life, my existence. And because I didn't want to happen, what happened to me happened to them. But like I said previously, Mom didn't choose to die. It's just the way the circumstances and the environment that occurred. So as a child, if somebody is handing you a version of yourself as a child, what are you doing to ensure if something could have been done different in order to change the outcome as an adult? What do you wish would have happened for you? My sister and I were sheltered. We were protected like you would not believe. Sheltered, cloistered. Hence why my sister became the wild child when she got to be 12 or 13. And I was so riddled with fear, anxiety, and panic. Looking at a version of myself as a child, looking at myself as a child, I felt like I would need to tell that child how much they were loved, how much they were accepted, how important that little life was, and the influences that this child was going to have on others as she grew. Now, my name. I'll stop there for a second before I go back to you're holding this baby that is a version of yourself. My name, Kit, short for Kitryn. I've told this story over 1,000 times. Dad wanted a boy. I was supposed to be Guy Richard. Mom wanted a girl, worked with 2 women at our local news station, and she pulled together the name Kitryn. And Dad, after I was born, Dad said, fine, we will name her Kitryn Marie. It was named after my middle name, after my Aunt Marie. And he said, but we will call her Kit for short. And as she grows and gets older, we will tell her, do-it-yourself Kit. Okay, go back to me as a baby. I'm looking at myself. I wish somebody would have instilled, I don't have to do it on my own. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have other people come into my world, not on a transactional kind of basis, but because out of love and concern and nurturing, it's okay to have somebody help me do something, and I don't have to do it all on my own. Because as an adult, becoming hyper independent and rigidly stubborn because I've always felt like I needed to make a point to justify why I was doing things on my own. So now you need to put this baby down. Don't worry about where the baby's going to go, because you can know that that baby's going to grow up and it's going to be you. But you have to put this baby down now. Knowing what you know, looking at yourself as an infant. Are you sad that you have to put yourself, this baby form, down? That you need to walk away from it? Are you sad knowing what is going to occur in this child's life as they become 7 and 8 and 9 and 13 and 14 and 15? Knowing the peer pressure and the people they're going to get involved with and the substances that are going to be introduced into your life and all of the bad things that you have been made to believe about yourself when you were 18, 19, 20, and so on. Knowing that baby that you now have to put down, knowing what their life is going to be, the advice that wasn't given on how you love, what you will need to be loved, who you will marry, and how that will impact the rest of your life. Will you want to hold on to that baby, that version of yourself, because you don't want them to go through all the things that you know as an adult you've had to experience? Knowing as a child growing up, knowing this infant that is innocent will witness domestic abuse, will witness addictions, alcoholism, domestic violence, the highs and lows of your own mother being cast aside, your own father being cheated on. And I'm just throwing out scenarios. And if this trauma, drama, and chaos has not occurred in your life, I am so happy for you. I want to know the highlights when you were looking at this baby and you were telling this baby, I am so proud of who you're going to become, because you will have accomplished so much. And you will have had so many people look at you as just a good example, a good human being, a person of faith and spirituality and growth and health. But now that you've put this baby down, you need to look in the mirror. You need to look and examine what has your life become because of all the things that have been either neglected in your life, things that you know you created on your own because of how that infant version of you was treated, not cared for, neglected, abandoned, abused. I laid in bed last night thinking about all of this. And that version of myself as a child, I would not want to let her go. Knowing what I know now as an adult with everything that I've studied and all the things that I have experienced, I would not want to let that child go. So today, as I am redoing websites and trying to promote the classes that I teach, trying to start on this new journey, trying to figure out what the hell is going on with this car that one thing after another. I don't have to do it all on my own. do-it-yourself kit, it's overrated. But I want to hear from you. When you look at a baby picture of you, if you could change one thing about your childhood, when you were an infant, when you were a toddler, or, preschooler, what is the one thing that you believe as an adult now should have occurred in your life? And what can you do, knowing what you know now, with the life that you have chosen to live, to understand the product that you are because of the environment in which you were cared for? And I do talk about this in my vision board class when we are talking about life coaching and family dynamics and how you were raised and what you were taught to believe. The class is $65. It's a cut and paste art class. But I would love to know if you have a way that you could show me a picture of you as an infant. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. But I am Kitryn Marie. I do reside in St. Louis, Missouri. I am an artist, a writer, a speaker, a life and a business coach. Teach a variety of art and communication classes. I am a published author. Where's this gosh darn book? Published author. When He Had Her, available on Amazon. It is a light psych thriller. It is based in narcissism and recovery and what the other side looks like. It is a fictional story. And it's an easy read. But I would love to know. I would love to know anything about you. Leave a comment below. Go over to my website, kitryn-marie.weebly.com, to see all the things that I do. Go over to my merchandise, kitryn-marie.printify.me. Feel free to drop me a line at kitrynmarie@gmail.com. But be happy, be blessed. Remember, fate turns on a dime, and it is up to you to decide what side of the coin you want to be on. Knowing what you know today, based on how you were raised as a child, very much says a lot when you can address what was neglected, what was needed, what should have been done, and how and why you act the way you do now. But y'all take care, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.